team. Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. You need to stay off Tatooine if you can.
Hey everyone, into your Trevor Lake Studios. Welcome to this week's episode of Building Hoth, week 37. And guys, we got a ton of work done. And I know I said that in like the last couple episodes and so on and so forth. But this week I actually got a ton done. I got all my Bricklink orders in this week except one that I'm still waiting on. But I kind of figured it was going to get here this week. I'm hoping it gets here next week. But basically I got a lot of my orders in. Luckily there's one order which I will mention later on that I was worried that wasn't going to get in that did. But yeah, we got a ton of work done, as you can kind of see a little glimpse, and it just gives the mock a far better look. Basically, the main goal this week was terrain, filler brick, and finishing up some snow mounds. Last week, I kind of showed you guys that middle one right there. It wasn't really too impressive. Well, it was kind of odd looking because of the fact that it had all those colors poking out of it. Now it looks far better because it's already covered. As well as I started and finished the mound right there. So I'm quite excited to show you guys everything that got done. And yeah, let's get right into today's episode. Okay, so starting off this week's episode, I'm kind of giving you guys a whole overview look of what everything looks like at the moment. I know this is something different I haven't really done, is kind of started off with the overview. But, like, I really love how Hoth is looking and coming together. Yeah, I just think it looks fantastic at the moment. Okay, so, getting into the actual progress of this week. Starting off, we get the filler almost complete. It's almost done. I told you I got that order in, or all my orders in, so I was able to get all the lime green filler brick, as well as I still have some filler brick in a box that I'm still going through. Yeah, this is almost done. I still have like that little bit right there in that final line right there. But for the most part, the filler brick is almost taken care of. This area is taken care of, minus, of course, making the footprints. So all this literally is left to do on this is just adding the plates onto it so I can actually put the walker on and actually make the footprints. So I'm like really ecstatic with how much work I was able to get done with the filler bricks. I also got some other work done around the border. I kind of placed some plates kind of just to showcase that's around. If you're curious why in the world that plate is actually a brick lower than the others, the reason for that is actually there's going to be another footprint right here, basically kind of like this one is, but kind of like half off the table actually. Like it's going to be half of a footprint right here, and the walker is going to be like right next to it. So no, the walker's foot isn't going to be like exactly right there. That's just going to be like a footprint. But yeah, so this side got a lot work done. The big part, of course, was this area right here. If you remember last week's episode, this to about there, like the beginning of that. That was nothing. That was not a thing at all. Basically, I got the two orders in from, the two important Bricklink orders. That were kind of walker parts and essential pieces, kind of like the filler. And I got that order in of 800 1x2 plates, and then I got also 500 more of the tiles. And so basically I plated this area over with just random plates I already have. Like I said, I've got tons of plates. It's just actually bricks that I need. So basically I put all the plates down on the filler bricks and then saw that it was colorful, so I added the 2x2 tiles, and then when I got the order in yesterday, I basically quickly filled it in so you guys didn't have to see all the weird colors under it. You can kind of see around the border there's black, caramel color, and like some green on the side. So I was happy I can cover that up so you guys didn't have to see all those nasty colors. So that was one of the big things, was getting that huge chunk done. Next was, of course, that little bit of a snow mound right there. Basically, it starts there and kind of continues all right there. And I actually really like how it came out. Again, I do want to point out that this table is very interesting, I guess you could say, because of the fact that it lifts up a little bit in the middle section. which is very annoying, but that's not going to how it looks like in the end. So at the moment, you can kind of see that black bit right there. If it really gets to me or gets to you guys, I could probably switch it out with white parts. It's not that big of a deal. But I do want to point out that's not going to be there at the end of the mock. But yeah, so that is basically what it looks like. I really like this snow mound. As you can see, I also placed some troops down, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So the other thing was this snow mound. So last week's episode, I had nothing done on this other than, outlining it a bit. This week, I was like, okay, I want to get the snow mound done. It's not going to take that long. I want to get it complete and finished. So basically, after outlining it, I started building it, and it is complete now. I actually really like how this one came out. It starts from here all the way to over here, and kind of just like this round one. It's kind of similar to this guy, but like half of that size. It is four plates higher than ground level, so it is quite large, but I really like the look of it. I think it's even cooler seeing all of that done and taken care of. So that was like the big chunk I did because of that area, and I really like how it looks and how it transverses with this side, and it kind of just continues onward and just going to continue that way. I do want to point out that a lot of you said for that area that some of you said that I should keep it. Some people said that I should lift it up and make it higher or just make it same level. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think I am going to make it regular level, basically to this height for now, and I might change it to make it higher. I don't know yet. I'm kind of debating it. I'm going to have some friends over, and we're going to discuss this, which would look better. But I do want to thank all the feedback from last week's episode. Like, you guys literally went nuts with the feedback with that question and that with the trench. And that is another point I want to bring up, that a lot of you said, a lot of you guys had mixed opinions. Some of you said I should keep the tan. Some of you said mix in dark tan. Some of you even said just make it completely gray. Some of you said completely white. I know a few people recommended that I should do white under it and basically gray grates, kind of like I have right over there throughout the trench, and that's probably the most liked one, I think, in my opinion, and I might end up doing that. Let me know in the comment section, should I do the grate thing or basically go with a different color. I think it'd be pretty cool to make it completely white and then add grates to it. I think it'll look much nicer. And yeah, basically, if you guys do agree on the grate situation, then I'll probably tear those up and use it as filler, and then just go off of that and put white bricks down. Okay, so that was most of the work, and then of course the trench. But basically, the rest of the work went to this general area. So as you can see, let me move my bin, which I'll show in a second. This area is finished, except I ran out of those 1x1 tiles. I got 100 of them, and they didn't last. I need to order like a couple hundreds. But yeah, as you can see, this area is complete, minus that little spot right there, as well as I continued on this area right here. Again, all that's missing is the 1x1 tiles and plates and all. So there's a couple speckles, but basically, overall, this side's actually almost done, at least this section right here. All that's left is that little bit of splinter right there, and then filling the gaps right there. But honestly, I think it looks so cool. Again, it just continuing onward. Yeah, so basically, it is the same as this side, and just continues forward. And honestly, I do want to point out, I also got this done. I do want to say that 800 1x2 plates, they didn't last. They didn't last at all. They got a ton done, of course, because they got that section right there, and then of course like this whole area right here. So it did a huge chunk. I ain't gonna lie, but it still didn't last long. That was gone in one day. So I need to order some more, of course. I'm pretty good on tiles. I might continue just buying like 500 at a time. This area just has a little bit to do, so I could probably by next week's episode, I could probably fill this in with tiles and get that taken care of. And maybe that little chunk over right there. But yeah, so I really love how this is looking. Like, honestly, I really love how the battlefield's looking at the moment. Like, I'm very speechless with how this looks, and I know that sounds like very odd, but I just really love how this battlefield looks with the walker staring out at the trench. You've got all this snow area. Again, I did add some figures around. I've got like 3 snowtroopers and 3 over there. I've got rebels over here in this area. I do want to point out that I actually changed the faces of most of these guys, minus those 2, because there's no need. I'm trying to make sure that there's no two guys with the same face. So all these guys have like different faces. I know that one is an alien as well. So I'm kind of like transversing all the faces so it doesn't look exactly the same as everyone else. Now, I do want to point out this funny fact. Let me get my bin again. Basically, as I said, I ordered 5 orders, and 4 of them, well, not 4 of them, all 5 of them were technically walker orders. And that's what this bin is full of. This is all the parts for the second walker's head and neck. I told you I ordered them. This is a bin full of them. Also, I do want to point out that if you're curious when I got these, I actually got these at after work one night. There were 10 packs for like $8, and I bought the final 2. The rest are actually right there. I thought it was a good deal, and I'm using them kind of as a storage for the walker. So yeah, this whole bin's full of parts for just the neck and just the head. Again, I'm still waiting on that one order, so it's not completely full. Yeah, there's 2 things I want to point out in this. One, these pieces, of course, don't go to the actual head. They go for the ankle, kind of around this area. The reason why I ordered those is basically when I find that one of my favorite sellers has a certain part that I have trouble always finding, especially in like a decent quantity, I kind of just like add that to my order. That way I have it on hand. Okay, so the second thing about this order was I ordered all the parts, and I didn't realize this until I got it in hand. Let me move that over there. I didn't realize this until I got this in hand. Now, you could just be saying, okay, that's just a plate. Or not a plate, a circular dish. Okay, well, as you can see, the circular dish is onward towards the head. It's on the side of its face. Well, if you look at this and then look at that, there's a little bit of a difference. So turning to the side, when I opened my package, dumped it out, and looked at all the parts, I looked at the dish and I said, that doesn't look right. And so I grabbed it and I put it next to the face. As you can see, it is bigger than the dish I needed. Turns out I ordered 2, I have 2 of these, 2 of the 10 by 10 circular dish. And I was supposed to buy 2 of the 8 by 8 circular dish. So I literally ordered 2 dishes that aren't going to be used for the walker. I wasn't mad at all. Like, I'm still not mad. I opened it, realized what was going on, and I was just sat back and I'm like, I can't believe that happened. Now again, I'm not mad. I think it's hilarious that my brain did that and I ordered the wrong size. I think it's pretty cool having these 2 dishes. I'm going to find a way or a place to put these. Kind of a remembrance of my doing of getting the wrong size. So I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to throw them away and put them in a box or anything like that. I'm going to try to see if I can use it for something. But I did think that was a funny thing, funny mix-up. I do have in the next order for walker parts, which should be going out this week. Basically, one of the sellers has these. So it has the dishes in the right size. Trust me, I made sure it was 8 by 8. They have it in the right size, so I'm just going to add that to that order. So yeah, so this is the head and neck. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get that final order in. Hopefully it'll be in by next week. If it is, I can actually kind of set this aside and have that be completely the head. The next, I do want to point out that the next large order for the walker is actually going to be the panels. So I know I said in like last week's episode that the next one I think was going to be the legs. I ended up deciding that I was gonna do the panels next because of the fact that, as you can see, the panels are kind of give the walker some extra detail and kind of give it its walker look. So I knew I needed to get that at some point, and I was price checking it. If I'm correct, like the front panels were like $20, are going to be $20. The side ones are about the same, and then the back ones are roughly the same. So I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna order the panels, all three of them. So like both of the back ones, both of the side ones, and both of the front ones. That way I can get that taken care of, because I remember when I made this walker, I only had one panel on it, and when I built the body, it just looked really odd without all the panels, except like that one right there. So that's going to be the next one. If you're curious, why am I buying the panels before I buy like the legs or the body or anything like that? The body I know is going to be last because of the fact that it's huge. It's going to be probably the most expensive, no doubt about that. Also, if you're curious why I don't buy the legs first, because of the fact that I don't technically need the legs yet. Now, if you're curious, well, you need to make the footprints. Yes, I do, but the fact that I need the whole walker to actually do it, because the fact that I need to figure out where the legs are going to end up, being at in the position. So, technically, I need the whole thing before I can actually start making the footprints, which is kind of upsetting. But yes, I did want to point out that the panels are going to be the next order. I have everything in my cart, and everything should be paid. Or everything should be shipped by next segment. If not even, it might even be here here in person. So, yeah, that's the next order. Then after that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the legs. I know I said that last week, but that's probably going to be the legs after the panels. So, yeah, I can't wait to get these in, those parts in. I can't wait to actually start building this guy. I want to try and get the walker built as fast as possible, because of the fact that, of course, I can continue working on this area, but to a certain degree. So I'm going to try my best to work around it, and whenever I get the walker put together, I can actually set it in place. I do want to point out something real quick before I end out the video. I mentioned that, or I've already said that this is going to be a three table long Hoth mock. Basically, there's going to be another table technically behind that right there, and that's going to be Echo Base. I've showed you the plans countless times. Now, if you're curious, when am I going to start doing that? Because at the moment, I only have a 5-month period now. So I've only got 5 months until Brickworld Chicago. And I've actually got some good news on that, which I'll mention in the outro. But basically, I have 5 months to finish this area completely and, finish the Echo Base. Well, if you're curious, well, when are you going to start Echo Base? When are you going to start it? Because it's probably going to take a little bit longer than the actual battlefield, because of the fact that it's going to be mountain work, it's going to be door, there's going to be hangar and all that. I have made up a goal basically to start Echo Base the middle of February. I know it's just like the beginning of February, but I want to start by the middle of February or the end of February. I want it to be started no matter what before March. That way, if I start it in March or the beginning of March, I still have 4 whole months before Chicago. So I want to spend all that time, at least 90% of the time, working on Echo Base, and like the rest of the time kind of cleaning up. I do want to point out that if it's like near the end of February and there's still some tiles I need to add on this section or at the back or anything like that, I'm still going to start Echo Base. It's just basically I'll be working on that as well as finishing this up. This side doesn't actually have to be finished with like the tiling and 1x2 plates and all that basically, this doesn't have to be finished with the actual details, because that will be added like throughout while I'm working on Echo Base. It's just I need to get that started as soon as possible. And I wanted to mention to you guys that I want to start it by March, or I want to start it hopefully in the middle of February, if that's possible, at least by the end of February. So if you're curious how am I going to do it, because of course this is at a wall, basically I have a few ideas. One of the ideas is actually move this to that side, but kind of turn it around, basically where the walker's technically facing this way, and having the trench face that way. And basically adding the third table right here, and having Echo Base basically right here, and actually being able to work on it. Now, if you're wondering why do I want to do it that way, it's because of the fact that if I put a third table here, slide this over to this table, that to that table, and then start working on that, I'm not going to have any room to actually work on it. So that's an idea. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the comment section below. So I think that's going to be it for today's episode. I'm going to pause the recording and finish out with that outro. Okay, so for this final part of today's episode, I do want to thank you guys for watching and seeing what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the whole battlefield, how it's looking, as well as if you have any ideas of how I should go about doing Echo Base. Let me know in the comment section, because I'm up to anything at the moment. I know I want to get it started as soon as possible. I do have some special news, basically about Brickworld Chicago. I did officially get those days off. I got, so if you didn't know, Brickworld Chicago this year is on the 15th and 16th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. Well, I requested those 2 days off. I requested the day after, and then the 2 days prior to Brickworld. And I officially got that basically requested correct, yes. So I now officially have those days off, which I'm really happy about. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the convention now. That kind of takes something off my mind knowing that I have those days off. All I have to do now is kind of just buy my tickets, which I think I can do now this month. But I did want to share that good news. But basically, that's going to be it for this week's episode of Building Hoth. I really, really am happy with all the work that got done. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next week's episode.